Welcome to S24 Rundown. I am Hadiza Galadima, and here is our news in brief. The Federal High Court has amended its 2026 pre-election practice directions, introducing virtual hearings and other measures to speed up the resolution of election-related cases. The new rules, which took effect on July 14th, empower judges to conduct proceedings online, transfer pre-election cases between judicial divisions, and keep court registries open on weekends and public holidays for the filing of election petitions. A statement by the court's Director of Information, Dr. Catherine Christopher, says the amendments are aimed at ensuring the speedy, efficient, and fair determination of pre-election matters ahead of the 2027 general elections. President Bola Tinubu has announced that Nigeria will stop exporting raw cocoa beans and instead focus on processing cocoa locally to produce chocolate and other finished products. Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, at the Cocoa Value Addition Summit in Abuja, said the move is aimed at creating jobs, attracting investment, and boosting foreign exchange earnings. He said Nigeria can no longer export raw cocoa while other countries reap the profits from processing and branding. He noted that Africa produces about 70% of the world's cocoa, but earns only a small share of the global chocolate market. The president also highlighted ongoing investments, including a 70,000-ton cocoa processing plant in Shagamu, and said the Bank of Industry is ready to finance projects across the cocoa value chain. Also, Senate President Godswill Akpabio says the National Assembly will not oppose President Bola Tinubu's administration simply to prove its independence. Speaking at the 2026 National Assembly Open Week in Abuja, Akpabio said lawmakers have a constitutional duty to support policies that serve the national interest while scrutinizing and improving those that require changes. He dismissed claims that the legislature has failed to check the executive, insisting that constructive cooperation does not amount to surrendering its independence. Akpabio also urged Nigerians to actively participate in the lawmaking process by attending public hearings, monitoring legislative activities, and holding elected representatives accountable. And also, a United States lobbying firm hired by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says it will brief members of President Donald Trump's administration on the arrest of self-acclaimed Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council Director General Adeniyi Adeyemi. The Washington-based firm claimed Adeyemi was arrested just as he was preparing to submit documents and allegations against senior Nigerian officials to U.S. authorities. Police arrested Adeyemi in Osun State following a bench warrant issued by a federal high court in Abuja over allegations of forgery, fraud, and impersonation. The presidency has maintained that the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council does not exist, while Adeyemi is expected to be arraigned on September 30th. Former Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Julio Cardonli, has alleged that some women fake pregnancies during steroid before obtaining babies to deceive their husbands. Speaking on a podcast, Okadonli claimed the women use steroids to make their stomachs and faces appear like those of pregnant women and sometimes stage childbirth while their husbands are away. She also alleged that some undergo fake cesarean section procedures to support the deception and called for maternity tests along paternity tests in cases of disputed parentage to help uncover possible baby trafficking. And finally, turning to the foreign scene, French President Emmanuel Macron will pay a state visit to Nigeria later this year. France ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS Marc von Berstier made the announcement during France National Day celebration in Abuja, describing the visit as an opportunity for both countries to review their growing partnership and deepen cooperation. The visit comes 2 years after President Bola Tinubu's visit to Paris. The ambassador said Nigeria and France remain committed to expanding cooperation in trade, agriculture, security, and the fight against terrorism, while also promoting democracy, economic development, and regional stability. Now, moving on to business news with Martha Okpadaledu.
Hello and welcome to Business Update. I am Martha Okpadaledu. Here are the top stories making headlines today. First up, the federal government has approved a special tax incentive for Shell's $20 billion Bongo Southwest Aporo Deepwater Oil Project in a bid to attract fresh investment into Nigeria's oil and gas sector. The incentive is expected to support the project's final investment decision after years of delays. Once operational, the project is expected to be projected to produce about 150,000 barrels of crude oil daily, create thousands of jobs, and boost government revenue. Officials say the approval reflects Nigeria's government to creating a more competitive environment for investors and strengthening the country's energy sector. Moving on, industry stakeholders are raising concerns over Dangote Refinery's decision to price petrol in US dollars. The refinery says the move became necessary because it now purchases much of its crude oil in dollars, making Naira-based sales increasingly difficult. But independent marketers arose and argued that buying fuel in dollars could increase pressure on Nigeria's foreign exchange market and lead to higher fuel prices for consumers. The development has sparked fresh debate over how best to balance commercial realities with the need to keep fuel affordable. And finally, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has begun consultations on a proposal to provide free internet access to approved educational websites and digital learning platforms. The initiative aims to reduce the burden of data costs on students and expand access to online learning across the country. The Commission says it is working with telecom operators, education regulators, and technology partners to develop a sustainable framework that will make digital education more accessible to millions of learners. If approved, students could soon access selected educational platforms without using their regular mobile data. And that's it on Business Update. Have a productive day ahead and stay tuned because Newsbar Review is coming up next right after this break.
Thank you, Martha, and welcome back from that break. Next is our newspaper review segment with Abubakar Turaki. Turaki, how are you doing today?
Fine,
Hope you're looking good. You look sharp in your white outfit.
American people, thank you so much.
And thank you for the compliment.
Maybe
also.
You're coming back from Georgia.
I think so. I'm just coming back, actually. So let's get right straight into it. And our first paper is coming from the Nigerian Tribune. And it says, go after other bandits. Terrorist nationwide, Senate tells federal government. So the Senate is urging the federal government not to relent in the fight against terrorism and insecurity in the country while acknowledging recent military successes. Like we've seen some these days, and we applaud them because when they need to be applauded, we should give them their accolades. Yeah, lawmakers says the focus must now shift to dismantling other terrorist and bandit groups nationwide and not just sectioning or like just facing or focusing on one part of the country. And the calls comes amid renewed concerns over persistent attacks, like I said earlier on. So with the Senate commending recent security gains, but insists the job is far from over, what exactly is driving this latest resolution that is happening in Nigeria right now, we're saying?
Maybe it all boils down to politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Expand or
It boils down
expand
to
more.
politics. Maybe they want to use this median opportunity to fight the insecurity to the core. Maybe by January, then they will just come back. We have eliminated terrorism within a blink of an eye, which they couldn't able to do that for the past 3 years.
So are you saying that, okay, this is like a short-term goal, it's not a long-term goal, because after the elections or after, if they try to eliminate it now, how are we so sure we're not going to see something like this resurface again?
Well, that is to tell you that they have plans for everything. And we even saw the Senate president, Akpabio, saying that there are some political motive behind the persistent insecurity in this country, because some of the opposition want to blackmail the effort made by the president. So I believe as the #1 citizen and nobody is above the law, they can at least bring them to book and face the right of the law. But the truth of the matter is, if we really want to have a safer Nigeria, and if you really want to have a developed country, and if you really want to have a free society that is free from any kind of insecurity and social vices, the Senate and the House of Assembly have a role to play, because those are the third organ of government. And, you know, in some places that they are practicing through democracy, the legislature are more powerful than the executive. Do you know that they have the right to summon the president, call the president into order, and if the president misbehaves, they have the right to impeach him?
But do you think impeachment is anything that will work in a Nigerian political setting?
Of course, we saw when the former president Olusegun Obasanjo came on with his third-term agenda. When the former speaker Gali Umar Naabba was the speaker, they started the process of impeaching him. It was that time when we know what is called the politics of Ghana must go. Allegedly, when the money is being distributed to the member in the Harrow chamber. They have started to do that, and we know they have been doing that. I think I remember even the ex-Senate of Bokola Saraki, there have been some impeachment process. They wanted to impeach the president, former president Muhammadu Buhari. So I believe with what the Senate said, they should go after them, chase them out, bring them into book, and the only repentant bandit is a dead one, according to Nasir.
Verified. But like you said, we just hear process of impeachment, or they want to impeach this person, or they want to impeach that person, but it never gets finalized. So I think most people will be like, even if they take steps towards an impeachment to any incumbent president or executive, it's not going to fall through. It's not going to follow through. So I don't think...
It is, Hadiza. If you look at what currently happened recently at River State, we know how Fubara was temporarily impeached or suspended. And we know if you go back to the history of governor like Governor Alamesia was also impeached. If you also go to Kaduna, Governor Balara Mugusa was also impeached. If you go to Yola Adamawa, Governor Inyako was also impeached. So these are the kind of things, if they are going to be honest in the fight against insecurity, I believe we didn't even care. We won't mind about giving them the chance to continue ruling. All that we are after, let them protect our own life, properties, and even let them provide the enabling environment so that we can at least farm,
a breathable environment.
Because from the way things are looking and from the way things are going, Nigerians are not that too ambitious. As long as you can sleep under your own roof, as long as you have something to eat, maybe a bag of rice in your store,
and something to wear,
some amount in your pocket, and some amount of money to fill your car and pay your children's school fees, I believe Nigeria would not even care about the politicking process. Let politicians continue with the politics. let business continue to do the business and let Nigerians continue to survive.
So, like these lawmakers from the Senate, like this call from the lawmakers, that is the Senate, for nationwide operations rather than isolated areas, like we said, is how important is a coordinated national strategy in tackling such cases?
It's very important. I think this is the right moment. We need to, maybe I'll just reverse back to what I have been going against, the creation of state police. Sorry. Maybe this is the right moment. We need to have strong and wider collaboration between the federal government, state government, and even the local government to fight insecurity in this country. I knew that since when the issue of insecurity started from the southern part of this country, I know that they are not going to relent. We saw the effort made by Sunday Igboho, how he was trying to at least go and make his own society free. You know, there are certain things, especially in the northern Nigeria, which are being tolerated. Our counterpart in the southern part of the country are not going to tolerate it. And you know how they have been putting pressure to the federal government and even the state government that led to at least the release of already students that have been adopted after 56 days. And currently, as I'm speaking to you, there are a lot of students that are out there, especially those who were adopted from Askira Uba in Borno, in Borno State. So these are the kind of coordinated attack. We should eschew politics, because when it comes to politics, they have been doing that blame game. You're from the opposition, you're blaming the ruling party, and we seems to forget that when the leadership of the APC, when the leadership of the PDP was in power, the volatility and the volatile situation of this country was not like that. But when this APC came into power for the period of almost 11 years now, look at the way the country is at tense. The economy is not even smiling for a common man.
There's nothing to write home about.
Aviation sector is not even good. Health sector is not even good. To Nigerians, Nigerians are more, they feel the sense of belonging when PDP was in power. Because if you are going to accuse the PDP government of at least bastardizing the security situation, at least Nigerians can afford to buy at least a bag of rice.
But now, how many households can do that?
Now look at it. Let us just be realistic. I'm not depending or rather supporting the ruling party or the opposition party, but for the sake of analysis and based on what we are experiencing. You are a Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian. We go to the market to buy things, and look at how things are going up every day.
So beyond, because like there's this saying they usually say that if on the streets of Nigeria, they will tell you that if anybody explains Nigeria to you, you will never understand the country, because of if you are facing this problem, another one is coming, or if they have multiple problems thrown at them, but then again they've not singled out one thing, they've not picked out one thing that they are actually very good at solving. And I think that is actually a serious thing and a serious problem for the government to look into. Now quickly moving on to our next headline, which is coming from Daily Trust. It says Phantom Council DG detained. So, Abubakar, what's funny?
You know, all the shenanigans that has been happening for the past 2 to 3 weeks in this country, I used to wonder if we are really serious people. How can a country where we have all the necessary things, we are a sovereign entity, and there is no any external and internal encroachment that will allow the country to be going the way it is going, but we find it a broad daylight. We just realize that there is a fake DG who have been operating for almost 1 year, and a sum of almost a budget was also allocated and earmarked to his office, and he was trying to pinpoint those people that are behind him, those people that actually help him towards securing that office. And now, yesterday, he was arrested. Well, we should allow the law to prevail, and maybe in the next couple of weeks, there is going to be a lot of shaking revelations. You know, there is a situation where we call the hunter became haunted.
Haunted. So is this a clear case of, I won't call it oppression. Is this a clear case of trying to shut somebody up? or Nigeria, or they are playing on the intelligence of Nigerians, because anybody that hears this will tell you that there's either a fallout between these people or they are trying to cover up for a whole lot of things. And some people are calling it oppression because they feel they are in power, so they have the right to do whatever they want to do. And we're seeing a whole lot of it.
You can never be in power for a lifetime.
You keep saying that, and I always hold on to that. You always make mention of that.
And looking at the fact that what has been happening, Hadiza, this is the man. If to say that this person will listen to me, he could have found an amicable way. Let him just go and submit himself to the appropriate authority. But since ever this scandal was uncovered, he has been going out sucking. I just recently saw this morning that the Minister of FCT saying that if you want to be a Nigerian president, being a Nigerian president is not cho-cho-cho. So if you are facing this kind of like corruption scandal, you need to keep quiet. Stick to the appropriate authority. Submit yourself, since you have been claiming that it is the presidency that appoints you. Bring out your documents, go to the judiciary, then let the law do their own this thing. And this is the moment that I think we need to rejig our own judicial sector. In some part of the countries, maybe like China,
round up quickly.
You are guilty until you are proven not innocent. But here in Nigeria, you are innocent until you are proven guilty. That is one of the major reasons why criminals have been moving around freely.
Well, like Abubakar just said, transparency is just the hardest currency any integral person should possess. That's it on Newspaper Review today. Up next is S24 Reports, coming to you after the break.
For many children, cartoons are simply entertainment. But for Mary Wanjiku, they became the inspiration for a lifelong career. Growing up, she admired animated classics like Johnny Bravo and Ed, and Eddie. At the time, becoming an animator seemed impossible.
Saturday mornings are my favorites because, I got to enjoy cartoons, Johnny Bravo, Ed, and Eddie. And all that. But it seemed like a dream that was so far, something that was unachievable.
Today, she spends her days designing animated characters, developing storyboards, and producing films through Studio M&A, the company she co-founded in Nairobi. Her journey wasn't straightforward. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, Wanjiku made the difficult decision to leave a stable job and become an animation intern.
In 2021, after the pandemic, I quit my full-time job and decided to pursue animation. And the only way I could do that is becoming an intern. So I became an animation intern, and I did that for six months up until late 2021, where I also co-founded my production company, Studio M&A. Because I wanted to tell my own stories,
That decision paid off. Within months, she had launched her own studio, joining a growing community of African animators, producing content rooted in local culture and experiences. Still, funding remains one of the industry's biggest hurdle. Creative organizations says hundreds of projects seek financial support every year, but only a fraction receives grants.
We received over 230 applications from creatives across Kenya. And what they were asking in total across all the projects, 230, was 400 million shillings in support. Everyone was asking for whatever. And we only had 30 million shillings to support. So, we had to choose the projects, most promising projects that we could support. The other thing that, the French Cultural Corporation has done is also enable mobility funding. So professionals, creatives from Kenya have been able to participate in professional events within their sector across Africa, but also in Europe. People gone to Germany, to France, and that is where you're able to sell your product. That is where you're able to network. That is where you're able to perhaps find co-producers. That is where you're able to find, distributors, etc.
International partnership and cultural exchange programs continue to play an important role in helping creatives reach global audiences. But beyond producing animated films, Wanjiku is passionate about mentoring young talent.
She was a really good mentor, like someone you could look up to. And she opened a lot of opportunities for me.
Animator Erwin Waweru says her guidance helps him build confidence in the industry.
What made me go into animation is the curiosity, my curiosity of what happens behind what we see in the screens. I would tell the other people who want to start animation, just starting is the main problem, but you just have to start and keep your curiosity and be open to learning. Yeah, just don't give up. Yeah.
Industry experts also say women are increasingly leading the sector, not only as animators, but as producers, scriptwriters, and production managers.
From a standpoint of women in animation, I find that women are really coming up in the field and they're really taking up roles. Most applications we receive for interns are women or ladies from colleges who are just graduated from the colleges. Also, I've visited several colleges and I've seen the numbers of women learning animation to that of men is almost the same. So it's no longer a male-dominated field, but you find females actually coming in and actually doing better. Also, we find that there are not just roles for animation for women, but also there are women who are becoming producers, production managers, they're becoming script writers, and they're just doing a whole lot in the particular area.
For Mary Wanjiku, success isn't measured only by completed projects. It is about inspiring others to pursue creative careers.
I think I want to inspire people. I want to mentor people because I don't think I had so much of that. So I want to be a mentor. And besides that, I want to tell stories,
To pursue creative careers and telling authentic African stories that resonate with audiences everywhere.
Welcome to Political Arena here on S24 television. I am your host, Abubakar Turaki. Across northern Nigeria, thousands of young girls dream of becoming leaders, entrepreneurs, academics, innovators, and change makers. Yet, for many, talent is not enough. They often need someone who believes in them, guide them, open doors, and even help them to navigate life challenges. That is the power of mentorship. A good mentor can transform uncertainty into confidence, potential into achievement, and dreams into reality. At this time, when young people are searching for direction, mentorship has become more important than ever. Today on this episode of Political Arena, we will explore how mentorship can shape the future of young northern girls, why representation matters, and how experienced women can help the next generation set of leaders. Joining me today is Asma'u Abubakar Shaibu, a storyteller, book lover, curator, designer, and alumni of University of Hull City, United Kingdom. She is passionate about creativity, learning, and inspiring young people to see possibilities beyond circumstances. Asma'u, welcome to Political Arena here on S24 television.
Thank you, Mohammed, for having me.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. Asma'u, when the word mentorship is being said, what does mentorship means to you?
In the beginning, I did not know what mentorship meant. So when I first heard it, I had to go back to do my research. What's mentorship and who's a mentor? So I came to the realization that a mentor is someone who guides you. It's a hands-on experience, someone who has a hands-on experience of life, who has walked through a certain journey, and he or she guides you through.
That is a mentor.
Yes.
So why do you think it's very important for young people in the northern part of the country to get a mentor?
Judging from the uprising of social media and what we see happening now, mentorship would have been would have bridged the gap for
for young people.
For young people,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So you're seeing posts of people and you're saying to yourself, I wish I could
I want to be like them.
No. I wish I could show this person the way. I wish I could tell them that this your skill or this your talent, you can take it forward. You can, even if it's not monetizing, your talent, you can use it in the right direction. So mentorship is actually relevant, very important in this society. You need to coach them young, you need to guide them, you need to show people
and
the
put
way.
them through.
Yes, exactly.
So looking at yourself, like, do you have any mentors so far?
Actually, I do have people now that I look up to. I never had a hands-on mentorship. The only person that I would call my mentor is my mom. She was a teacher, and I would always go to her to ask questions, and she was always available to show me the way.
So how can storytelling and reading books influence the thinking, the logical experience of young people in northern Nigeria?
Oh, okay. So because so many people now, when you look at the educational system of Nigeria and how it's deteriorating, I feel like when we incorporate mentorship into the lives of people, it will take them a step ahead. When you tell them stories of people of the past, and you're sharing stories of women that shaped northern Nigeria, the likes of Gambo Sawaba, she was a politician, you know, Ladi Kwali, yes, exactly. The Potter, you know, you're seeing Amina from Gombe State, exactly. Even Amina Mohammed, yeah, you know, you're seeing people and then you're telling them their stories on the social media space. They're understanding that you can actually be like these people. And then when you talk about reading, it equips you with knowledge. Intellectually, you become sound. It doesn't matter the type of course you're studying, your course of study. When you pick up a book, fiction or non-fiction, and you are sure that this book can change your life in a certain way, believe me, yes, the first 2 chapters can tell you something. It can guide you through a certain
things.
Yes, exactly.
So many young girls admire successful women, but never reach them out. Why do you think this happened? For example, I believe some people out there are admiring you, but they couldn't have the opportunity to reach out to Asmao.
I think it's because we have
low self-esteem.
No, preconception that people are not approachable. Yes, because you cannot access them in person. You think you cannot reach them on social media, but a lot of people are reachable on social media. You send them messages. For me, I may not reply. I try to reply. In fact, I reply DMs so fast that you even be surprised. Like, is this one not busy? And then
maybe
with
just
emails,
because of the international exposure you have.
Yes, I think so. Whenever I receive an email, I reply as fast as I can, because I take whoever sends you an email means business. Is a serious person, you know. So yes, even DMs too. So people think that the people that they wish to be their mentees, they're not approachable. But have you tried? Have you reached out to this person? Did you send them a DM? Did you message them? Did you email?
SMS.
Even a phone call, exactly. And this person may be willing to show you the way, to even talk to you, you know. But like I said, you know, mentorship is sometimes it's a close relationship. So if they cannot give you that close relationship, a word of advice
is enough.
But then you also need to find a mentor that will be willing to walk the journey with you.
So Asmao, what advice will you like to give to girls who are afraid to ask for guidance?
Do not be afraid. Nobody is unapproachable. Nobody. whether they put on a straight face or not, they are a pro to people. Do not be afraid. I mean, what could be the worst? For them to say no. How many no's have you heard in your life? That shouldn't weigh you down. The no of one person can be the yes of another person. So if this one says no to you, find another one. Reach out to them. Talk to them. They may help. They may show you the way. They may guide you.
We spoke about low self-esteem, and can proper mentorship help girls to overcome the challenges of low self-esteem?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I had a mentor in my life, I would have gone far because I didn't have a mentor. So I'm trying to mentor girls now to tell them that they can do it, that they are achievers. Whatever you see someone do, they did it because they believed in themselves. So believe in yourself. You can do it. So do not undermine your ability to reach a certain level. You can.
That's the advice you have them.
Yes.
Nobody is unapproachable.
Yes.
Well, this is Political Arena here on S24. We are going in a short break. When we return, the conversation continues.
In a groundbreaking conservation effort, Africa has witnessed its largest ever cross-continental rhino translocation. 70 southern white rhinos have arrived in Rwanda after an extraordinary journey from South Africa. The endangered animals traveled more than 4,000 kilometers by road and air from South Africa's Moana Conservancy to their new home in Rwanda's Akagera National Park. The unprecedented operation required months of coordination between conservationists, veterinarians, pilots, and local communities determined to secure the future of the species.
The rhinos, these species are very endangered now. If we can get another place which is safe, to keep them safe, to increase, it's good to us, make us very proud, because our generation and generation will be happy to see these rhinos still alive.
Each rhino was carefully tranquilized, monitored by veterinary teams, and guided into specially designed steel crates before beginning the long journey north. The animals were trucked to Durban, craned into a Boeing 747 cargo aircraft, flown across the continent, and then driven across Rwanda's winding roads to Akagera's National Park. Conservationists say the relocation is helping rewrite Africa's conservation story, shifting focus from wildlife decline to restoration and recovery.
We were very proud. When we first had these things, we were very proud because we know from here, we do have the rhinos because they were coming from somewhere to be here, increasing the numbers, and we are enjoying. Our children, they were enjoying to come to see the rhinos here. So if we took them to another country, then we all say, oh, that's perfect.
The transfer also strengthened Rwanda's position as an emerging conservation hub while expanding Akagera's rhino population within one of Africa's most complete savanna ecosystems.
I can say thanks to my community for supporting this, and I can say thank you to Pinda also and African Parks. Thank you very much to support this, and also foundation helping to move these rhinos to another country. I also say thank you very much. I wish we can keep doing this.
The operation forms part of African Parks Rhino Rewild Initiative, which aims to relocate more than 2,000 rhinos into safe protected habitats across the continent.
Security forces have recorded fresh gains in the fight against terrorism, kidnapping and organized crime, with successful operations across all 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Welcome to Security Update on S24 television. I am Gloria Atta, bringing you stories making headlines in Nigeria's security landscape today. Let's begin. Troops of Operation Hadinkai have arrested a suspected Boko Haram and ISWAP logistics supplier during an ambush operation in Borno State. Security sources say the suspect was intercepted along the Jakana-Mulam axis while transporting food items believed to be meant for terrorists. Recovered items include cartons of spaghetti, biscuits, sugar, torchlights, a bicycle, and cash. The suspect is in custody as investigations continue to identify other members of the alleged terrorist supply network. In a separate development, the Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested 6 suspected internet fraudsters during a raid on a hideout in Rugam Madaki. Police say officers recovered a pistol, 9 laptops, 4 mobile phones and several ATM cards during the operation. The suspects are in custody while investigations are ongoing to determine the ownership of the firearm and the extent of their alleged involvement in cybercrime. And finally, a joint security team has rescued 3 abducted students of Ambrose Ali University in Edo State. Police say operatives of the Nigerian Police, the Nigerian Army and the Edo State Security Corps carried out the operation, killing 2 suspected kidnappers during a gun battle. 3 AK-47 rifles and 39 rounds of live ammunition were recovered, while other suspects escaped into nearby bushes. The rescued students are receiving medical attention as security operatives continue the search for the fleeing suspects. And that wraps up today's security update. Stay alert, stay informed, and remember, security is everyone's responsibility. Until next time, stay safe.
Innovation is driving change, competition is also heating up, and technology, they say, continues to shape the future. I am Gladys Asuko, and here are today's top stories. To begin, Nigeria's Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, also known as the FCCPC, is investigating Meta, Google, and X. The commission is looking into claims of unfair business practices and the use of news content from Nigerian media without proper permission. The investigation is part of efforts to ensure digital companies operate fairly and follow Nigerian laws. Moving on, from government regulation to the future of smartphones, Samsung has introduced its latest foldable display technology called Flex Titanium. The new design uses titanium to make future Galaxy foldable phones stronger, make the screen look smoother when folded, and also improve durability. The company says the technology is expected to provide users with a better and longer-lasting foldable phone experience. And finally, one of the world's biggest technology companies is facing a major setback. IBM shares dropped by more than 25%, wiping out nearly $70 billion in market value. The decline came after the company released weak early financial results as many businesses shifted their spending from software to AI infrastructure. And that's all we can take on our tech update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next segment. Have a lovely day.
Welcome to your entertainment update on S24 Rundown. Every successful person has someone who inspires them. And for award-winning actress and filmmaker Funke Akindele, that person is Hollywood producer Tyler Perry. Funke has revealed that Perry's journey from humble beginnings to becoming one of Hollywood's most successful filmmakers has been a huge source of inspiration. She said his passion for storytelling, consistency, and dedication encouraged her to dream bigger and keep pushing boundaries in Nollywood. With several record-breaking films already to her name, Funke says his success reminds her that hard work and determination can take great stories to a global audience. Speaking of career-defining moments, Famous Senegalese musician Akon is looking back at a decision that still has music fans talking. The singer revealed that he once had the opportunity to sign Canadian rapper Drake. According to Akon, Drake wanted a $1 million deal, but he simply couldn't afford it at the time. Instead, that missed opportunity led him to work with the Nigerian superstar Wizkid. The revelation has sparked reactions online, with fans debating how different the music industry might have been if he had signed Drake instead. From Nigerian entertainment to the global music stage, Justin Bieber is set to make history after being announced as the headline performer for the 2026 FIFA World Cup final halftime show. The performance will mark the first official halftime show in the tournament's history, bringing together one of the world's biggest pop stars and the biggest event in football. Fans are already looking forward to what promises to be a spectacular performance. And that's your entertainment update for today. I am Karimet Hassan. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Sports Updates on S24 Rundown, where we bring you the latest stories making headlines across the world of sports. Spain are through to the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. England and Argentina prepares for a blockbuster semi-final, while Nigerian Super Falcons continue their build-up to the Women's African Cup of Nations. Here are today's top stories. Spain is one step away from World Cup glory after defeating France 2-0 in Tuesday's semi-final clash. La Roja took the lead when Mikel Oyarzabal converted from the spot after Lucas Digne fouled Lamine Yamal inside the box. Spain continued to control the game, and their dominance paid off in the second half when Dani Olmo sparked a flowing attacking move that ended with Pedro Porro firing home to seal a comfortable victory. The result sent Spain into the World Cup final, where they will face either England or Argentina. And speaking about England and Argentina, the second semi-final clash to be played later today promises to be a classic. England and Argentina renews one of football's greatest rivalry. Every meeting between these two nations carries history, emotion, and huge pressure. From unforgettable World Cup encounters to dramatic knockout battles, this fixture has consistently delivered memorable moments. Both sides have looked impressive throughout the tournament, and with a place in the final on the line, another thrilling encounter is expected. And on a final note, Nigerian Super Falcons continue preparations for the Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco. The reigning African champions will face Ghana in an international friendly in Casablanca on Saturday as they fine-tune preparations for the tournament. The Falcons opened camp earlier this week and are building towards their Group C opener against Malawi on the 28th of July. The friendly against Ghana will give the coaching staffs one final opportunity to assess the squad before the Super Falcons begins its quest for a record-extending 11th WAFCON title. And that's a wrap from the world of sports today. I am Udokan Godspower. Do stay with us for more updates as PG News comes up next after the break.
Una welcome my people. How body? I hope say una dey kampe. Today, we don't package better story where they make headlines for Nigeria and Obodo. From court matter to politics, agriculture, security, and international relations, we get them all for una. No time to check time, make we sharply enter the first story. Court changed 2026 election rules. The Federal High Court don't introduce new rules to make pre-election case work fast ahead of the 2027 general election. Under this new arrangement, judges fit now conduct virtual hearings, while cases fit also move from one judicial division to another if work done too much. Court registries go they remain open for weekends and public holidays to receive election-related filings. According to the Court Director of Information, Dr. Catherine, the changes go help reduce delays and ensure say election matter they decided sharp. For our second story today, President Tinubu don order local cocoa processing. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu don talk say Nigeria must stop to dey export raw cocoa beans and make we sef start to dey process more cocoa inside Nigeria. Im talk am through the Minister of Agriculture, Abubakar Kyari, for the Cocoa Value Addition Summit wey happen for Abuja. The president say the policy go create jobs, attract investors, and increase foreign exchange earnings. Tinubu say although Africa na dem dey produce the most of world cocoa, the continent still get only small share of the profit. He add say government go support local processors to the Bank of Industry and other investment programs. For our next story, Akpabio defend National Assembly. Senate President Godswill Akpabio don reject criticisms wey say the National Assembly dey simply approve anything wey come from presidency. Speaking during the National Assembly Open Week in Abuja, Akpabio say lawmakers no need to fight the executive just to prove say dem dey on their own, dem dey independent. According to am, cooperation between the both arms of government no stop the legislature from carrying out its original responsibility. He don't encourage Nigerians say make them participate in public hearings and closely monitor the activities of their elected representative. Now make we enter the fake DGRS matter. One lobbying firm hired by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar don't say he go report the arrest of Adeniyi Adeyemi to American authorities. Adeyemi allegedly presents himself as the Director General of the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council. The presidency can't insist that kind council no dey exist, and them say the suspect na impostor. Police can arrest them because of fraud, impersonation, and forgery, while the matter they expected to continue in court later this year. Ex-NAPTIP DG don raise alarm. Former Director General of NAPTIP, Julie Okadonli, don raise alarm over the alleged case of women using steroids to fake pregnancy. Women they use steroids fake belle before buying babies. She talks say the trend don't dey more common, and they call on government to make them consider maternity testing alongside paternity testing whenever wahala over who get pikin don't rise. She talks say we need stronger measure to fight baby trafficking and to protect all pikin with every corner of the country. And for our last story today, Macron don dey ready to visit Nigeria. France President Emmanuel Macron supposed visit Nigeria later this year. The French ambassador to Nigeria, Marc Fomboussier, talk this one for one French National Day celebration in Abuja. In talk say the visits go provide another opportunity for Nigeria and France to strengthen cooperation in trade, agriculture, security, and counter-terrorism. The visit there is expected to deepen relationship and economic ties between the two countries. And now here we go draw our Tori curtain today. Thank you for staying with us. Make una stay informed, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your day. My name now Onir Shukra.
Shukra right there with our pidgin version of the news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time. And do remember to follow all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. My name is Hadiza Galadima, and bye for now.